You've never been backpacking and you have no idea where to even start. You're in the right place. Stop scrolling, give me a few minutes, I'm going to give you 5 steps that'll get you out into the backcountry. My name is Nathan, and I didn't start backpacking till I was well into my 30s. I know, it's sad. So many wasted years. In 2017, I decided I wanted to get out of town. I wanted to escape society. I wanted to escape the world. I wanted to spend some time on my own exploring the Canadian Rockies. So I started backpacking. And I started and learned on my own and made a ton of mistakes. I wish someone had sent me this video when I started, because I would have saved time, I would have saved energy, and I would have saved money. Backpacking is 50% hiking and 50% camping. Both of these things share one common attribute: a destination or a location. For your very first trip, the hardest decision that you will make is where you're going to go. My suggestion, no matter what, if it's your first trip, is to book a designated backcountry site. This will simplify all of the decisions that you have to make. Normally, there will be flat tent pads that are blocked off so that you don't have to search for a tent site. There will be bear lockers so you don't have to research and learn how to hang your food on your very first trip if you're in bear country. There's going to be a dependable water source. It's a dedicated place for you to have water that you can filter and have. There's normally a fire pit, whether it's communal or at each site, so that you have somewhere to have fire without breaking leave no trace principles. The most important reason that I always suggest a first trip to a backcountry site is there will be other people there for you to ask questions, for you to learn from, for you to hang out with. There's a sense of security with other people around. Make it easy on yourself too. Pick somewhere fairly close and without a ton of elevation gain. You'll thank me. It's so hard to estimate how you're going to respond physically to hiking high elevation with a heavy backpack. You just don't know till you get there. Now you need to decide what to bring. I have spent thousands of dollars on different iterations of my backpacking kit, and I don't want you to do that. Don't buy anything for your first trip. Backpacking gear and choices is all about individual preferences and your individual style of backpacking. Don't buy anything. Beg, borrow, steal, rent the gear that you're going to get, because you don't know what you need right away. If you absolutely have to buy something, buy the cheapest budget version of that thing that you can get your hands on. Get it used, get it on sale, get it on Amazon for like whatever, the heavy one that costs less. Just buy it cheap, and we'll come back to the reasons for that in a minute. Once you have all the stuff, the most important thing is that you try it all out. Set up your tent in the backyard. Get in and out of your sleeping bag. Inflate your air mattress. Set up your stove. Boil some water. Try your water filter. You never want to get into a situation where the first time you're trying a piece of gear is 10 kilometers into the woods. Now it's time to really dive into the details for your trip plan. As the date gets closer and closer, start to look at weather reports, start to look at trip reports, start to look at Facebook groups, start to look at every possible source of information you can, because what you're trying to understand is the conditions that are going to exist when you get there, when you're hiking. Is it going to rain? Is it going to snow? Is the trail muddy? Is it slippery? Is there steep parts? Are there parts washed out? All you're looking to do is understand better what's going to exist when you get there. The last thing in your trip planning that's super important, possibly the most important part, is to give someone close to you 5 key pieces of information. You want to let them know the location of your trailhead, the route you're planning to take, the location of your campsite, the date and time you want to leave from that trailhead, and the date and time you plan to be back at that trailhead and back in contact. On that last one, give yourself some extra time. One of my favorite things is to sleep in the backcountry. And you never want to wake up in a hurry, rushing to get back in contact with someone who's going to call the authorities because they think you're missing just because you slept in. But make sure that they're waiting for you and someone knows where you are. Strangely enough, going on your trip is actually step 4. You would think it would be step 5, but it's step 4. And unfortunately, this is the one tip and the one step that I cannot help you with. You're on your own. Go do it. Get out there, enjoy, connect with nature, connect with the other people at the campsite, and learn about yourself. Do not be afraid to ask questions. Do not be afraid to pull the plug if you feel unsafe. The backcountry will be there the next time you want to go. Do not risk your safety. Once you get home from your very first backpacking trip, all you're going to want to do is throw your backpack on the floor, hop in the shower, post all your pictures on Instagram, and go out for a nice dinner. But before you do any of that, develop this habit. It will help you forever. This is how you make backpacking better. Grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, and start to unpack your backpack. Take notes while you do, and every time you take something out of the pack, figure out if you used it, if you didn't use it, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Take notes about what you wanted to bring that you didn't bring. Take notes about all the things that you brought that you didn't even touch. And make sure that you note that all down, because you'll forget. And that's how you learn about what you need in the gear. I mentioned earlier that gear is entirely subjective and personal, and about the style of backpacking and about the functions and features that you'll use. And this is how you figure that out. The good news is, once you've done this once, the process, those 5 steps, are exactly the same for every other trip you take. You'll end up picking harder routes, you'll end up taking different gear, you'll end up making different decisions. But then you'll be hooked like the rest of us. My name's Nathan. This is Backpacker-ish. Like, comment, subscribe, or don't, whatever.